By the early 1990s, the fairy tale was over, but something else was just beginning. This wasn't the collapse of a princess, it was the emergence of a woman, ready to define her own story. In December 1992, British Prime Minister John Major stood before Parliament and delivered a statement that would reshape modern royal history. The Prince and Princess of Wales would separate. The official announcement was all constitutional phrasing, masking years of emotional devastation, infidelity, and a monarchy struggling to adapt to a new media age. For Diana, the separation marked the end of an illusion, but it also marked the beginning of her autonomy. For the first time since her early 20s, Diana started defining her own schedule, her own causes, and her own public voice with fewer constraints. She was still the Princess of Wales. She was still the mother to the future kings. But she was no longer pretending. Inside Kensington Palace, she restructured her office. She strategically reduced her royal patronages, keeping only the causes that resonated most deeply with her: HIV, AIDS awareness, homelessness, children's hospitals, leprosy eradication, and supporting landmine victims. She was building an identity that didn't depend on her marriage. Then, on November 20th, 1995, Diana did something unprecedented. She sat down with BBC journalist Martin Bashir for an interview on Panorama. An estimated 22 million viewers in Britain tuned in to watch her speak calmly, directly, and without any palace mediation. The world heard a royal admit to emotional pain. She discussed infidelity, her struggle with bulimia, and her feelings of deep isolation. It was vulnerability broadcast on a national scale. The reaction was seismic. To some, she was courageous. To others, reckless. For the palace, the interview forced a final reckoning. In 1996, at the urging of Queen Elizabeth II, the divorce was finalized. The settlement was substantial, but a symbolic loss mattered more. She would no longer be styled Her Royal Highness. She was now Diana, Princess of Wales. Titles changed. Her influence did not. In fact, public affection for her only intensified. In the wake of her separation, Diana's image transformed. She refined her wardrobe, streamlined her charity focus, and traveled independently. The press called her fashion choices revenge dressing. The public just saw resilience. But beneath the elegance was ongoing emotional complexity. She was navigating motherhood, intense media pressure, new relationships, and relentless scrutiny. Still, she moved forward, not as a supportive figure, but as a principal force. In January 1997, Diana traveled to Angola to support the effort to ban landmines. Images of her walking through a partially cleared minefield circled the globe. It was political, humanitarian, and deeply controversial. Government officials questioned if she was overstepping, but the survivors of these weapons embraced her. Later that year, she visited Bosnia with the same purpose. This was self-definition in action. She had chosen a cause that transcended the monarchy, positioning her as a global humanitarian. Through it all, one identity remained constant: mother. She insisted her sons experience life beyond palace gates, fast food restaurants, public transit, human contact unfiltered by privilege. She was shaping future leadership by exposing them to ordinary lives. This was her legacy being built in real time. But this new autonomy came with a cost. Her global profile intensified. Her romantic relationships became front-page headlines. Her privacy all but vanished. The same media machine that amplified her humanitarian impact also consumed her personal life. It was an ecosystem she both leveraged and suffered within. Separation did not diminish her. It clarified her. She was no longer trying to fit inside a centuries-old mold. She was reshaping it. By 1997, Diana stood at a crossroads not defined by marriage, not constrained by tradition, but powered by a profound sense of purpose. The fairy tale had ended. Her influence had only grown, and the world was still watching every move. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures.